Small switching operations are great, but what about running those big mainline trains? We're doing that on my relatively small layout today.
This video is brought to you by Model Railroad Academy. Model Railroad Academy is your online resource for model railroad instructions, ideas, and information, with loads of tutorials and articles for model railroaders of every skill level. One of my personal favorites is Alan Keller's Great Model Railroads series. It is just so much fun to look at all of these different model railroads from all of these different great model railroaders and just get inspiration from those. Plus, you can find tutorials on everything from bench work to electronics to scenery, all sorts of things there. The first 1,000 people to sign up at the link in the description below will get a full year of premium membership to Model Railroad Academy for $1.49. Offer is valid for new members only.
My layout is a U shape, and it has two main areas joined by a single track main line. I have utilized T-Track in a way that lets me build a larger passing siding than I normally would have into these areas. This one would be considered the eastern area of the layout. This area is the western side of the layout. And the single track main line goes through the middle right here. This is all I need to run operations with mainline trains. The single track that joins the two sections is a choke point, and that means that trains will have to yield to each other using meets and passing sidings on each end of the layout. One thing to note is that I intend to run this as a joint line. 3 railroads will operate on it: Norfolk Southern, CSX, and my fictional Blue Ridge and Western. So today we're going to see Norfolk Southern and CSX. Here is the CSX manifest coming out of Winston-Salem through Rural Hall, North Carolina. As it approaches the end of the block, we can see the signals are green for it to proceed. While the train is progressing, an eastbound Norfolk Southern coal train out of the West Virginia coal fields is coming down that is bound for the port of Morehead City, one of the 2 deep water ports in the state. The train comes to a halt before entering the block, and it waits for the CSX manifest to pass. Once it passes, the coal train can continue on to its destination. Now, let's look at an eastbound priority situation. In this case, the westbound train's a little bit early and it arrives first, and this is the same manifest train, but instead of heading on, the train moved to the passing siding at the entrance to the block and now waits for the eastbound coal train. Now, just an FYI, you're going to notice that the locomotives are different now on the coal train. That's because I had a costly little accident, and I actually caught it on camera. I forgot to throw the turnout back to a line, and when the train hit it, there was a short, and this short just happened to fry the decoder in the Dash 9. I ended up switching the consist. Luckily, that is a non-sound decoder that was in the Dash 9, or else I would have been really just like, eh! But still going to cost me about $30-40 to fix, so not the greatest. Anyways, the coal train heads through Elkin and enters the block. The train passes the CSX freight waiting to enter. One thing that you will note as it's passing is that back in Rural Hall where the CSX train is waiting, the train is broken up to allow for traffic to flow. You can make a rule for operating that if you're going to be longer than 5 minutes waiting, you must unblock crossings like that. It's just a cool thing you can do. Then once the block is clear, the CSX train can reattach and head out. Now, even though my layout is in scale, it is still not very big. It's about 10 feet long and 7 feet deep, which is not the biggest layout in the world. But I'm still able to add some mainline operations. You don't need a big layout to do big railroad operations. You just need to focus on points of interest, like passing sidings in my case. Another thing you will probably need to do is compress trains. Instead of having 50 or 80 car long trains, try 10 to 20 cars, or maybe even a little bit less. There are loads of things you can do for mainline operations in a small space. Let me know what you do in the comments. And thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.